Well, we got in late last night to Trujillo, Peru, drove about 4 hours to the base of the mountain, stayed the night at a small little house there, and started early this morning about 4 a.m. hiking up into the Andean Mountains, going after Andean Whitetail and also Andean Tinamou as part of the South American Upland Slam. We've got a long day hike going up here. It's basically straight. This is their dry season. The ground is crazy hard, so it's kind of slipping and sliding our whole way up. Surprisingly got light super early, like 5:30 it was light here, but it's been warm. They're coming out of their winter season, going to spring right now, dry season. Didn't even pack any rain gear for the first time. Like I don't have any rain gear on me. I feel naked right now, but there's 0% chance of rain, and looking at this dirt, it hasn't rained here in a long time. It goes up as smooth as I wanted to. We are 3.5 hours in now. You can see the peak behind us that we have to cross. Once we cross that, basically gets out of where all the houses and the farming is on this side, and there's nothing on the other side. That's where we'll start hunting. Deer generally don't stay on this side just because there's so much activity. I don't know. I hope it is.
¿Qué tercero que salimos con Alfredo? ¿Te das cuenta que salita? Parece que Dios sale acá y cruza el toque.
We're gonna unload for a second and let them rest for a little bit without the weight. Well, what I thought was the peak wasn't the peak. It's just a false peak. Now I see that we're probably an hour and a half away from what could be the real peak, could not be the real peak. I don't know. Oh, we're gonna take a break here. Let the donkeys rest for a minute with the weight off. Let me rest with my weight off. Am I gonna grab my moleskin out? Get a little low on the water. This morning, it feels good to finally be in the hunting area. We started right around 6,000 feet and are at 10,500 right now, so 4,500 vertical incline today was a good way to start the day. Now we're just going to kind of cruise. We're still going to take the skyline here for a little bit, but we're going to glass down in these gullies as we go. It's midday, so if we're going to find anything, it's probably going to be embedded in the shade, but it feels good to finally be here. Looking down there.
There's water about 100 yards. Well, right down here there's a little bit of water, but it's better down there. About 100 yards. There's a little pool area, and there's a big pond. There's water there, and still a little bit of water flowing. I'm gonna take all this stuff off these donkeys and get the filters, and go down there and start filtering water.
Okay.
And then if you guys take a minute or whatever, and then you can come down. We can eat down there because it's a better area.
Okay. And you want to camp down there too, or?
No, we'll camp here because there's more space. We can clean this up and put the tent right here.
Okay.
Down there is just all solid rock. It won't be.
is a long day, much longer than expected to get over here. We topped 10,500 feet coming over the peak, and I knew this was going to be a tough one, but it was way tougher hiking in here than I was anticipating. It's almost like a hike in to get to the Sheep Mountains is all I can compare it to. We did start to see deer tracks about the last mile coming and going on the hillside, so that's a good sign. I haven't seen any yet, but at least saw tracks. Deer are super small, so they're going to be tough to find, kind of like a coos deer, but even smaller. So it'll be fun. Tomorrow morning we'll catch them right at first thing. We're going to be up high on a glassing knob and just cover some distance, and then we'll probably come back here midday when they bed down, and we'll head back up in the afternoon. I'm excited to see one now. You had seen that?
It moved across like that, and then it went into those bushes, and I lost it.
Set up my spotting scope.
Yeah.
Are we going to stay here for a couple minutes?
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll switch on that side over there.
Okay. Just getting set up here, starting to glass, because Angelo saw a deer over here. I was getting the spotting scope out, and Josue, who's glassing on the other side, just spotted one, so we're gonna boogie over there, see what it is.
There's a buck and a doe on that ridge right in front of us, and they were going to the right, and they went into those bushes where there's a big green cactus, like this cactus there, but it's big, it's giant, and they went into those bushes, and that's it. That's the last we saw them. I'm trying to see if I can pull them on the spotting scope. They're right here on the camera on the spotting scope.
Got your phone on you.
You see it?
I see the doe, yeah.
Yeah, the buck is somewhere in there.
He's right underneath that cactus on the right side. You can see his body shining in the sunlight.
So you can see when he turns. They're not super long, right?
Yeah.
But you can see when he turns right there.
Oh yeah.
Right there.
Tiene cuatro y a un lado, viste.
See, so 1, 2, 3. I don't know if there's anything below. Maybe it's 3 on that side. He's heavy.
Yeah. Let's watch them and see if they bed right there and try to make a plan.
Well, we've had a pretty active morning so far. I saw a pretty good buck over here that's been with a doe. It looks like he was chasing a little bit. Watched him, and they kind of fed/moved out of sight over here. They weren't in a spot that we could make a play just with how they were moving, but they've kind of fed through the ridge over here, so we're just going to keep glass and see if they don't come back. Saw a couple other does, one up on the skyline, 2 behind us, so it's been a super active morning. Pretty cool seeing them. Super small body compared to like a coos deer in North America, even smaller than that. And you're looking at the world record here is 80 inches, right? So it's not a super big deer. This one over here, like I did, he's probably in the 70s, if not 80s. He looked pretty good, carried his mass. Pretty cool seeing him for the first time. I know it won't be the last one we see. Hopefully we can see this guy again. we're back up in the same spot we were this morning where we spotted the buck on the backside. We've been here for about an hour glassing around. We just spotted 2 down here. It looks like a doe and a fawn. Could be the same 2 doe and the fawn that we saw this morning in the same general area. We're going to keep glassing up behind where we lost track of that buck and doe this morning. He was a good one for sure. It's our first full day here, so trying to get a lay of the land. Hopefully we catch one that's a little bit closer where he was this morning. Just by the time we saw him, he was gone. So if he comes back and hopefully he feeds this way down, there's water below us. If he does that, we'll be in a pretty good spot. I've only got a couple of days that we're going to hunt here, and then we're going to head back out and look for Andean tinamou and a Peruvian dove. Those are kind of the main focus. So just really kind of taking our time here and glassing as much as we can. If we get one that's fairly close, we'll make a play on them. Definitely a buck. There's a buck behind him. It's like a smaller one, but definitely a buck. There's a 4th deer back there too. There's a 4th deer back there. One's a buck. It looks small, but I can't tell what the 4th one is.
This is a Yeah, that one's a doe with a fawn that's following it. I don't see that 4th one you're talking about.
So the last I saw the buck, he was up and to the left of that. But my guess is you're going to see him here in a second because he's probably chasing those. Heat waves are just so bad.
I see him now.
He's just moving right now to the right. We're in that golden hour light here. Everything's up and moving, but only an hour left. And when we see a deer, it's usually pretty far away. So you're looking for one that's in the right spot that we can make a play on today. If not, just somewhere that we generally have a vicinity tomorrow to where we can go first thing in the morning, see if we can't glass them up again.
buck was on that side with the doe that he was chasing. And then that single doe was right here under this cactus. Is this where we're going to stay, right over here? Yeah, right on that little point right there. So we can glass down in this pool. Just went over the top. It was down on one of the trails right here. Yeah. It went around the side. What's his name?
We've got this buck spotted across the canyon here. We saw him early on and he bedded underneath the cactus. He's in a spot. He's actually the first deer on this trip that he's in a spot that we can actually make a stalk in on him. And being up here, you can see a lot of deer off miles in a distance and then they disappear and no way to find them again in the brush. And he's a couple mile hike over and still got to get lucky that he's in this same spot. He was bedded underneath this cactus. He's up and moving now, but I don't think he's going to move very far because it's the dead heat of the day. We're going to get packed up and see if we can't close the distance. we just stopped partway here, just verifying he's still over there. He was up and moving. Got a cactus kind of marked where he was bedded. He got up and he was about 40 yards behind that. It looks like he moved underneath, just making sure he is there.
Switch. I'll give you the gun, and you and him go in front. Me and him will stay back. You know where the deer's at? Yeah. From that little edge, he's gonna be directly in front of you into that cactus. Go straight up. We're just gonna go like this. That's a little bit of an angle. Straight to the cactus and then a little bit of an angle.
I figure it's going to be around 200. We're basically right at the edge. There should be a cactus right over there. He's been right underneath it. Out there. He's sitting in the shade on the other side. He's coming around the other side. All right, he's clear. You ready, Lee? Awesome. He went straight down Andean whitetail right there. We have worked our tails off for this guy. This way.
All the way across that canyon.
Oh, at first I almost squeezed off because he was in the shade. I couldn't see that cactus across his body, and I'm like, ee.
I was leaning down so he could set the camera, and I was like, what's going on? What's going on? And then he's like, okay, you can get up. And I was like, you didn't shoot. When I get up, I put my vinyls on. I saw exactly what you were talking about.
Like it went whole vitals.
Yep.
Awesome. Look at that. Oh, there he is. Andean whitetail. Obviously, not the biggest deer I've ever shot in my life, but by far one of the toughest. Where these deer call home is just steep, miserable, thick. We've seen quite a few deer on this trip, but they've always been just miles and miles away. No way to make a play on them. We could tell this guy glassed him up early, and then he stayed there and he was kind of bedded underneath this cactus, which is literally the only shade that's been here. And you see what they're eating. They're these little tomato plants that are out here this time of year. Just not very much. So you can tell why their bodies aren't very big and they don't grow to be very big. But some animals in this world, it's not about the size, it's about the experience and chasing them. And that's exactly what this is. We're one of the very, very few to take an Andean whitetail is awesome.
Cow here, guys.
A dead cow?
Yep. That water's nasty, nasty. Could have been a mountain lion, could have been a bear.
Lee said he was pretty thirsty though, so he'll still try it. Try it, Lee.
It's kind of whitish there. Might go, you know, a little milk in your coffee.
Little cream.
So much for that water. Would have been too nice to hang here for the afternoon, just in the shade, nice little breeze, water. Dead cow.